Hello, public opinion aficionados, and welcome to Rasmussen Report's Reality Check. What we're going to talk about is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is the psychological operation, the continuing array of lies being thrown at Americans, at voters in this country, because it's really all the Democrats have left. And we're going to take a quick look because on Wednesday, we talked about a prediction I made. In fact, easiest prediction I ever made. Congrats, Quinnipiac poll, you're a joke. This is what I said on Wednesday. Prediction Master, someone is going to drop a Trump minus 10 approval into the Real Clear Politics aggregate by Friday to flip it negative for the weekend news cycle. And not less than 24 hours later, Quinnipiac obliges with not a -9, not a -10, but a -11 Trump approval. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy because it's basically 15 points to the left of our Trump approval right now. And you can say to yourself, like, Trump approval, why does that matter? I'm going to tell you why it matters, but real quick, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, anywhere, please, like the video and leave a comment, even if it's just to say hi, because it will help more people see this content. It really will. It helps the algorithm. It gets more people in here. I think we're up against some really tough competition in the afternoon. That's why I like to stream at night, but we're doing it for the guests and for Ted. Ted goes to bed early. And if you're watching and you want to have a better comment experience, hop on over to YouTube. And also, if you have a really good question, make sure you put the word question in front of it. We don't have a chat moderator yet. There's really nobody watching it. Maybe Ted can, and he can star some of the ones that make sense. But it helps me a lot better, catch the questions that come up. But this is why it's important. This is an individual, Richard Hanania. I don't know who he is. I know I looked at his feed and he actually admits to being evil. So I don't know. Maybe that was tongue in cheek. But he says, a part of me worried that economic nationalism was like war, where even if you fail, the approval rating stays high because nationalism is an opiate. That would mean Trump would keep doing tariffs. Our only hope is if his popularity plummets. This is what they're betting it all on. They're betting it all on that Trump will all of a sudden become super unpopular. And it looks like a couple of people are out there obliging him. Nate Silver, this is getting to be a reasonably fast decline. We launched last week and Trump's approval was plus 0.5%. Now it's -1.7. Well, we'll take a look at that. But where we're at right now, let's go here to the Real Clear Politics aggregate. And right now, we have Donald Trump at net +5, 52% favorable to 47% unfavorable. If you filter for Rasmussen Report, oh, look, we're at the top because we put out a lot of polling. Yeah, Trump's dropped. He's dropped. He came in at an astounding +11. That happens after inaugurations. People are like, wow, maybe America has hope. And it's faded. It kind of went down a little bit, but it went back up. And he's holding, 52%, just where I thought he would hold, 52% plus or minus a few points. But what we're seeing in the Real Clear Politics aggregate now is something completely different, a reversal. Trump now underwater. And if it wasn't from me, well, who is it from? It's from Quinnipiac, -11. Disgusting. Reuters Ipsos, -8. Keep in mind, Reuters Ipsos in September was as much as 9 points to the left of me. I think it was usually on average between 6 and 8 points. Let's just call it 7. Well, I'm at Trump +5 right now, and they're at -8. That's 13 points to the left. It would appear that they've gotten worse, not better. And we know that they're really bad at measuring Trump support. But look, there's only 2 really bad numbers here. 3, CNN. We talked about this SSRS poll on Wednesday. There's a lot of people in my vicinity. A lot of them are just moving to the left, though. It's the same characters, the same people who've contacted USAIDs. But, I mean, listen, this Quinnipiac poll, this -11, here's how you know it's bad. Inside the internals, they talked about Trump's approval on the issues. Immigration, 46% approved, 49% approved. Trump is underwater, 3 points on the issue of immigration. Completely shut down the border. Completely reversed the border invasion. And Quinnipiac, their poll, is so far left, so full of Trump deranged people that they have him upside down on immigration. Foreign policy, I think it was 42% approved to 53% approved, underwater 11 points. Brokering ceasefires with Ukraine and Russia. I mean, the economy I could get, but I think if we tested it right now, Republicans and Democrats would probably be relatively even. People put Trump in the Oval Office because of economic reasons. Absolutely crazy. But here you are, here's Ted tweeting about it. Reuters Ipsos right there with them, having Trump underwater 8 points. And this is crazy. So we talked about Nate Silver. And just for a refresher, I compared Nate Silver's state polling to the Real Clear Politics aggregate and to the outcomes of the swing states in 2024. And what I found was, depending on the state, Real Clear Politics was between about a half a point to about 2 points too far left. And in every single state, 538 and Nate Silver were even farther left. So even though they're supposed to unskew polls, they did the exact opposite, and they inserted additional left-wing bias. If they really were correcting for Pollster house effect, if they really were trying to remove biases from the entirely left-leaning polling industry, then they would have adjusted, and now they would be to the right of Real Clear Politics. But the average right here, Real Clear Politics, negative 0.7. If you see Nate Silver, negative 1.7. Nate Silver is again a point to the left of Real Clear Politics. He's literally continuing to insert left-wing bias into a left-wing biased industry. Now, I frame this whole thing as an effort to paint Trump unpopular before the weekend news cycle, but I wondered, well, maybe there's something else. Maybe there's some other reason that this poll came out, and here's what I think it was. New poll suggests majority of Americans would blame Trump and the GOP for a government shutdown. This came out yesterday morning, right when Chuck Schumer was talking tough about how the Senate Democrats needed to not vote for Trump's continuing resolution, threatening a shutdown. And here it is, all of the cover they need. A left-wing scummy pollster putting out a poll that says, no, it'll be the Republicans' fault. Quinnipiac, hand in glove with the Democrat Party, giving them the political cover they need. And what was kind of funny is it didn't even matter. A complete flip-flop in one day. Chuck Schumer lashing out against radical MAGAs, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the vote happened yet. I know it was scheduled for about an hour or two ago, and it kept getting pushed back. But he just caved, and the Democrats are freaking out. This is some comments off of Blue Sky, and I didn't composite these. Like, they're literally just ripping on Chuck Schumer. Your entire party is telling you to vote no on the cloture, and you're capitulating to these fascist cowards. Do your job and fight back, or get the hell out of the way. This is the sentiment on Blue Sky right now towards Democrats, towards not Republicans, towards Democrats. They have nothing. We talked on Wednesday about the absolute horrible situation they've put themselves in. It's a civil war. They're just going to fight. Half of the party wants them to be more insane, and the other half's trying to moderate. So much so that AOC is now calling for Chuck Schumer primary. Calls for AOC to primary Schumer mount after gutless surrender. And I'm sure that this is some left-wing rag. I'm sure this is some left-wing rag. You got to laugh at it. It's so hilarious. Here, Quinnipiac threw their credibility in the gutter just to give Democrats the political cover. Just to give Democrats a political cover, and it was all for naught. A complete waste. If you've learned something, please follow us at rasmussenreports.com, Rasmussen_poll at Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Mark_R_Mitchell at Twitter. And thanks for watching.